Actually live. Content says it's being sent live. Got it. And go to my dashboard and make sure that I am actually live. I'm going to mute. I'm not going to mute. I just muted my sound. Let's see. Yep, live broadcast right now. Zoom YouTube broadcast says it's live. And so I'll do this so that I have the chat. And then we're good to go. There we go. Ask me anything here in the chat. There we go. All right. We're ready to go. All right. So questions, if you have questions on anything or you want me to talk about anything, you can put it in the chat or the Q&A for you guys who are here on Zoom. And for you folks who are here, hey, there we go. Thank you for being here on the YouTube. If you have questions and you're watching on YouTube, then that would be a great place to put the questions there as well. So I want to talk to you while I'm waiting for if any questions come in. Why don't we talk about, I'm going to bring up some notes so that we can have a heart-to-heart conversation. Listen, I know it's Friday and certainly have fun in the chat here on Zoom if you want, but I also want to talk about some serious stuff as well. And that serious stuff is going to take the form of your hook. My what? Your hook. So your hook, a hook, let's define a hook. Hook definition is the thing that gets people to engage with your content. So written content, it's the first sentence. Maybe it's the headline. Probably is also the headline, but the headline has a whole different purpose. The headline's to get them to stop. First sentence is to hook them into reading it. Video content, it's the first thing you say. Especially in short form video, because as people are going through their short form video, the very first thing they hear you say, they're going to make a decision. And what's the decision? Is my thumb going to do this? Right? Is my thumb going to do this? And if you can say something that makes them do this with their thumb, that little movement right there, just take their thumb off the screen. If you can do something that does that, you're in really good shape. It's also what you write on your thumbnail. For your video on any platform. It's also the first frame of your video in any short form context or short form modality. The very, very first frame of your video. You want proof that people are using this and that people are doing this. Notice how many times you check out a short form video and as you're flipping to that video, the first frame is not the video. It's like something totally different. Like you're scrolling through the short forms and the very first frame is something like, as you see it coming up, there's something interesting there, but then it just goes to the video. These are people who are gaming the system, and they're putting a first frame on their video that has nothing to do with the video just to get you to stop. It would be wise to scroll right past that video, because if they're not smart enough to get you to stop with the real first frame of their video and they have to use some trickery to get you to stop, then they're idiots and they don't deserve your time. They don't deserve your attention and they don't deserve your watch. They really don't. If you're going to try to trick me into consuming your content, I'm gone. I'm gone. Bye. Farewell. As they say in Japan, arrivederci. They say that in Japan when they're taking Italian classes in school. So the first frame of your video is also your hook. So I don't know, should we have one more? if you're doing any kind of long form content, like long form video, like a workshop or a workshop, a VSL, a webinar. I don't think webinars work anymore. I don't think I think VSLs are important, but they're further down in the funnel. VSLs used to work at the top of funnel, but they really don't work at top of funnel now. They're much further down in that flow. But if it's a long form video, then it's really the first, like it's your first 15 seconds or so. And that might be generous. If it's short form video, you have 1 second. You've got a second, maybe two. You've got maybe 2 seconds. All right. So this conversation is about your hook. And so this is the definition. This is what it is. Now let's talk about why is the hook important? Well, the honest answer is as much as you feel your content is valuable, no one else really feels that way. That's not true. That's way too polarizing. As much as you feel your content is valuable, like the majority of people are just going to want to scroll past you. You have to prove to them with your hook that your content is valuable enough for them to stop what they're doing and consume your content. Others might not feel that way. I'll say it nicely. Okay, the reality is people are just not paying that close attention to you. A majority of people are not paying that much attention to you. This is why, like, if I can get a 3% conversion, I was just talking to somebody about this today. If I can get a 3% conversion to a free offer on an email list, I feel like I'm doing okay. I'd like 10, but it's hard. Why? Because you've got an email list. You're going to get a 25, maybe to 45% open rate. So right away, 75 to 55% of those people are paying no attention to you whatsoever. And now you've got to get them to click and do something. You're expecting a human to do something. So if I can get a 3% conversion as my floor, I feel really good about things. So you've got a 100-person email list. You're just getting started. If you can get 3 people on that list to show up to something, yeah, 3% on a free offer, right? 3% on a free offer, just getting somebody to do something. I was helping a private client out this week with a thing that they delivered online. I've got to be really careful with privacy for my private clients, helping them out with a thing they delivered. And we got a 3% conversion to a free offer. And even then it was painful to move any of those people beyond that, but you have to, you have to try. So your hook really can have a large effect on your conversion to your offer, even if it's a free offer. So because the reality is people are just not paying that close attention to you. Oh, here, another place your hook, another place we find your hook, email. It's your subject line. Then it's your pre-header. And then it is your first sentence of the email. The highest open rate email subject line in existence, there are 2. One of them was used by former President Obama, where he just wrote a subject. His subject of his email was just hi. That's it. I don't think it's the subject that got people to open it because it came from him, right? If I send out an email to 1,000 people saying hi, I'm not going to get the same open rate. So that's one. The one that I've seen people talk about is where this is the subject. I think this is dumb, and I do not advise doing this because I think this is your subject line. You write name, and then you put in their name, if you have it. Phone number, and then you put in their phone number. And then you put email, and you put in their email. Like if you imagine if you received an email that said name and then your name and then phone number and it had your phone number and email and it had your email. That's going to get an extremely high open rate. But this is along the lines of having a first frame of a short video that is, a beautiful woman, cutting into a lasagna. And then you're gonna talk about your business stuff that has nothing to do with that woman or lasagna. That's the equivalent of that. So that's a very high open rate. But there are some other ones, and we'll talk about those today. So the hook is important because as much as you feel your content is valuable, other people aren't going to feel that way, and people are just not paying that much attention to you. They're really not. So you've got to do something in the words you use, the words you write, or the words you say. So you must capture their attention with the first thing they come across. You guys on Zoom, hang out with me at the end. I have some secret sauce that I will share with you that's going to be very valuable in your lives in the next 12 months. If you're here on the Zoom, but I don't want to share it openly on YouTube. Sorry, YouTube. I guess, I've got people who are in my programs that are here on Zoom. So you can have that too if you sign up. It's not hard to sign up, and it's not particularly expensive to sign up either. So get a hold of me. There's my big pitch. Get a hold of me. I'll stop the YouTube and I'll share something with you at the end. And you guys on YouTube, take no offense. Please, I mean no offense by that. Just come and sign up to the programs. But you guys on YouTube, just hang out. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of good stuff too. All right. I'm looking at the YouTube. You know what's really cool is it's doing real-time live transcription and showing my captions in real time. That's the beauty of technology. Sometimes I just love technology so much. So you got to capture their attention with the first thing that they come across, whether it's the first frame, the first sentence, the first thing you say. All of this stuff is working to get them beyond that first second or the first 15 seconds or the first paragraph. It's just to get them beyond that, to keep them going, to start to build the momentum. So that's why we have to be concerned with the hook. So let's move on. Okay, everybody feel like they got a good understanding of what a hook is and why it's important? Is there any part of this that you feel like doesn't make sense? You can tell me now, and I'll keep talking about it. But now I want to give you some frameworks for creating good hooks. Okay, I'm just watching the chat just to make sure. And let me just check the chat on YouTube just to make sure. If you're on YouTube and you're watching this, if you have questions, you can ask, or if something's not clear, you can ask. So let's talk about hook frameworks. Let me just organize my screen so I can keep an eye on YouTube as well. Okay, great. Okay, so let me give you some hook frameworks that you can start thinking about. I can't just tell you what your hook is. You've really got to do the work on this. So here are some hook frameworks. One is the what's in it for me hook. So with the what's in it for me hook, you're telling them immediately what they're going to get out of consuming your content. Today, I'm going to teach you 3 ways to get a flood of clients reaching out to you through LinkedIn. Hook. Okay. Today, I'm going to teach you this. This video is going to show you 5 ways to make lasagna. 5. I'm going to teach you the one way to fill in the blank. All right. So it's what's in it for them. And you don't say hi. You don't say my name is. Sorry. You don't say hi. You don't, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I did that. If anybody caught that, I'm sorry. You don't say hi, you don't say my name is, you don't do any of that. You just hit them right away with the hook. This does not work talking to people in public. You can't do this in the grocery store as you're there picking out your olives and hummus. You can't just say this to the person next to you. You can say this if you're in a networking meeting, if you still do those things and you stand up and you have to introduce yourself. Dear God, do not say your name first if you're in a networking meeting and you have to stand up and introduce yourself. Nobody cares about your name. Your name, they're not going to buy you because of your name. The moment you say, hey, my name is, and then you go, into your spiel about who you are, they're gone. They're gone. Their attention span is gone. You've got to just launch right into what they're going to get. Okay, so that's the what's in it for me hook. Hook number 2 is start with a startling stat. That was alliteration. I don't know if you guys learned about that in English class. Start with a startling stat. So cite some statistic that shocks and captivates. Point 0.2% of LinkedIn users know how to this is terrible. 0.2% of LinkedIn users leverage the power of LinkedIn newsletters. 0.2% of LinkedIn users leverage the power of LinkedIn newsletters. Here's how to join them. Something like that. So I'm starting with an interesting stat. Now you could turn that around and you could do this. This bridges to the next one, which is intrigue. And you could say 99.8% of LinkedIn users. This is great. This is the one I would rather use. 99.8% of LinkedIn users ignore the most powerful client getting tool on the platform. Here's how to fix that. I'm actually using 2 hooks here. I'm using a initial hook and then a secondary hook. My initial hook is the shocking statistic, and then I make a really big statement that they ignore, right? So there's a really big statement there. And then my secondary hook is what you're going to get out of this. So this is a combination of intrigue, because I'm not saying what it is. This is a combination of what's in it for me, here's how to fix it, and then a startling stat. We could do that short, long, short format with this. So if you were to so Darcy says use the short, long, short format. If I were to do the short, long, short format, right, that's short sentence, long sentence, short sentence. We just talked about this week in somewhere. What is today? It's Friday. Where did I talk about this week? I think it was in the inner circle. I'm glad you brought that up, Chris. How do I join the inner circle if I'm sitting here on YouTube and I'm just super curious about it? Oh my gosh, it's so easy. Just go to prouty.me. Here, I'll even type that for you. I'll type it here at the top. Just go to prouty.me. That's my last name. Somebody gave me a hassle. Somebody criticized me for using that URL once. Just go here and apply to meet with me. And I'll show you how to get into the inner circle. I'll even let you in for a week for free. And then it's like a couple of bucks a day after that. And the stuff you'll learn will absolutely blow your mind. Yeah, just go here. I'm glad you asked. Oh, wait, I asked. Short, long, short. 99.8% of users, percent of LinkedIn users ignore this one thing. And if they were to use it, they could have a steady stream of clients, of leads, reaching out to them, long. Here's what to do right now. I'm glad you asked for that, Darcy. That's pretty good. So I use the short, long, short format. You should, here's what I want you to do, you guys, is I want you to, I'm going to say this quietly, so only the people on the Zoom can hear it and the YouTube people can't. What you should do is, in your real life, you should be practicing this, like when you're talking to people. So when you're with your family this weekend, try using this methodology to say a short sentence, a long sentence, and then a short sentence, and see how it feels. You see, I just did it. If you can get in the habit of doing this, this is a compelling way of speaking and of writing, especially if you do it in writing, you would do it like this. And now we're totally off track. If you do it in writing, you do it like this. That's how I would do it in writing. 3, I would write it just like that. Short, long, short. Just be mindful of it and develop the habit of doing it. This is a great way. Thanks for the plug, Darcy. All right, so start with a startling stat. Build intrigue. I'm running out of space. I don't even know what to do, aside from starting a new page. So hook frameworks continued here. You know what I'll do? Let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can zoom like a pro. Copy, Command-C, new page, Command-V. It worked. Move it over. And start a new one. I love intrigue. This is number 3, intrigue. 3 secret ways. 3 secret ways to use LinkedIn content to get clients. So then you could say, here are 3 secret ways to use LinkedIn content to get clients. And there really are. You got to make sure that there really are some ways that few people know about. Don't just say that. Don't just say it if they're not secret. Don't say, oh, you got to go write a post. Oh, really? Okay. Thanks for the big secret. What else is a secret? Food tastes good? Did you discover that secret? This secret is brought to you by the same people who say sex feels good. Thanks for revealing the big secret. All right, so build intrigue. So we build intrigue by saying that they're going to learn something, but we don't really tell them what it is. Okay? Don't get me going, Trev. So we build intrigue by saying, you're going to learn this, you don't know about this, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So that's intrigue. We saw that in the last one of the thing that LinkedIn users ignore. Okay, so 3, it's Friday. I just realized it's Friday. So I do get cranky on Fridays. I really do. I was thinking about that this morning because I was really cranky this morning. And I think it's because it's Friday and I don't have as much time to work on the weekends as I would like to have. Some people get the Monday, like how some people get like the Monday blues or whatever that's called. I get the Friday blues. I don't want my kids to hear this. I got to talk quietly. I get the cranky Fridays because the weekend's here and I don't get to work as much. That might be really true. Somebody says, is this an effective example of a startling fact? Have you ever heard the statistic that approximately 81% of people, I'm struggling to read today. Have you ever heard the statistic that approximately 81% of people say they want to write a book, but only 1% of people ever do? Are you going to be in the 1%? So here's what I would shapeshift that. That's too many words. So conservation of words for this one. And here's how I would do it. I would say I would just start right with the 81%. Start with the number. 81% of people say that they want to write a book, but you might be surprised to learn that only 1% of people actually ever write that book. Which group do you want to be in? You want to be in the 81% of the dreamers or the 1% of the doers? I'm here to help you. That's what we're going to cover today. So that was the hook, 81% of people, only 1% of people. And then the secondary hook to keep them engaged is, do you want to be a loser or a winner? That was more words. The hook was 81% of people, 1%. That's it. That was the hook. Then there was the secondary hook to bridge them to keep watching. So the hook is just 81% of people say they want to write a book, while only 1% of people ever do. And if you want to use a strong language pattern, you might be surprised to learn only 1% of people do. But instead of saying, have you ever heard the statistic that approximately there's like 7 or 8 words that lead to the stat, that thumb has just gone like this. Boink. Yeah. Start with the startle. Start with the startle. Please start with the startle, which is 81% of people. What? Does that make sense? Yeah, we need more alliteration in our lives always. What was I telling you? I was telling you why I get cranky on Fridays. Just make every day Monday. Oh, that could be my t-shirt. Every day should be Monday. Back here. Okay, so intrigue will definitely help you out there. Number 4 will be no surprise to you. Let's go back. Let me just get my tool here. I'll give you a few more. There's like so many of these, but thanks for being here. See it too. Number 4 is how to, the how-to hook. Why the how-to hook? You know why. Searches for how to grow by about 70% year over year. People want to learn how to do something. And the more you can help them learn how to do something and release that you feel like you're giving away your stuff, the more you help people know how to do things, the more that they're going to want to be around you. Okay? So just start with how to. How to exercise for 30 minutes a day, even if you don't have time, even if you feel like you don't have time. How to plan a trip overseas if you've never left your town. How to plan a trip overseas. And then I bridge it with the if you, with a reversal. And speaking of that, number 5, here's one that you could try. It's the escape arrive. I love escape arrive. So let's talk about this. Most people would rather get away from a bad situation than move towards a good situation. Okay, this is known. This is a known. Most people, when we look at study after study after study, most people would rather learn how to pay less in taxes than learn how to save for their retirement. People want to escape. This is part of your brain. Your basal ganglia is programmed to get you. Oh, you want to get away from the stuff that hurts. Your basal ganglia and your limbic system are working together to help you escape from the stuff that's going to hurt you, mentally or physically. So people would rather get away from bad than move towards good, because getting away from bad historically has kept us alive. But moving towards good just feels good, but not necessarily what you need to keep you alive. So the escape arrive is help people get away from a bad situation and move towards a good situation. And you could bridge this with others. How to stop yelling at your kids. How to stop yelling at your kids. Or you want to build intrigue? 3 little known ways. Little known, I hate that. Ugh, cringe. 3 often ignored ways to pay less in taxes. Okay, today I'm going to teach you 3 often ignored ways to pay less in taxes. Hey, today I want to show you how to stop yelling at your kids. And so I'm using a kind of a conversational tone there, like I'm creating a video, but that's how you hook. So get them away from the bad situation. And then if you want to make it extremely impactful, your bridge, your secondary pitch is moving them towards the good situation. That's the reverse of the bad situation. How to stop yelling at your kids and have a more balanced household. 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 Does anybody even say that word? How to stop yelling at your kids and have a more balanced family. That's escape the pain, move towards the pleasure. 3 often ignored ways to pay less in taxes and have more money in your pocket. Okay, move away from the bad, move towards the good. That's escape and arrive. And then a couple more. You want a couple more? I love this one. Here, new page. I don't know. Maybe I can just squeeze this all here. I don't have that many more. I mean, I do, but I'll just share just these few more with you. 6, story. People love a good story. Problem is, if the story is about you, you've got to do it in such a way that's instantly relatable to them. One way that I've helped people, I don't do this because I don't talk about me. Like in my stuff, in my marketing, I really very rarely talk about me. And it's because I'm of the fundamental belief that people really don't care about me. They care about what they can get from me. And that's fine. That's how I want it to be. I don't want them to I'm not gonna go into my marketing. You guys get to hear about me. You guys hear, right? Because we talk all the time. We talk 4 times a week. Some of us talk 6 times a week. Some of us talk 6 times a day. Not everyone. So, but people love a good story. So if you can somehow get them to instantly relate to your story, and then you go into the story, I wonder if this has ever happened to you. And then you go into the story. So I wonder, there's the language pattern. Start the story with, I wonder if this has ever happened to you. If you can start with that, now there's intrigue, and you've asked a question that makes them want to listen to say, has this ever happened to me? I wonder if this has ever happened to you. I had a client call me up today, told me they felt like they weren't paying enough and they wanted to pay me more. So now I just started the story with I wonder if this has ever happened to you. And now I just started to tell the story about myself, the true story. And now I can go into that story and talk about my service and how they felt like they were not in fair exchange with me because they were getting more from me than they were paying. And so they wanted to pay me more. But I've got to somehow word that story so that it doesn't sound weird or fake. But that happened this morning. So I wonder if this has ever happened to you. Start with that. And then that will help hook them in. And then number 7, testimonial. Okay. I like to start testimonial hooks with, this is, and then say their name. And then talk about the results they got. Okay. This is Eileen. She tried for 4 years to get her program launched and was able to do so in 4 weeks once we started working together. So now 1 sentence, testimonial. This is Eileen, flash of Eileen. Talk about the results they got. Thanks, Eileen. Let me check in on YouTube. I feel like I'm ignoring the YouTube people. Somebody just told me they have to go. Got it. Thanks for being here. Oh, thanks. Very kind of you. Thank you. Very nice. Thank you very much for that. Where's my YouTube? I don't want to ignore the YouTube people. I don't know, maybe here. Maybe it's this one. Maybe. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody in the chat. I don't know. Now I just refreshed it and I missed it. Hey, if you ask me, I don't know if I am seeing the full chat. If you're here on YouTube, there's a handful of people here. Thanks for being here. If you are here on the YouTube and you have a question or you want clarity, just pop it in the chat. All right, so that's the testimonial hook and the story hook. And you could kind of blend those two things together. If you're going to do a story hook and it's going to be about you, I just ask, start it in such a way that really captivates them. I wonder if this has ever happened to you. And then go into your story. Just make it a really good, try to make it a really good story. And then I'll give you one more. Sometimes extending a challenge in a hook is a great way to get the right people to pay attention. Did you know that in 90 days you could don't even say, did you know? Just start it with, in the next 30 days, you could blank if you are able to, and then hook them on what you're about to teach them. So I ask you now, and you can tell me in the chat, privately or publicly, is there any reason that you couldn't start? I mean, so many different options here, 8 different options here, and the ability to combine them together. If you were able to combine 2 of these things together, you now have 56 options for hooks. Do you think that's enough? Do you have any reason to not be using hooks in the beginning of your content? If you chose 2 of them, 8 of them, 8, choose 8, and then you have 7 left to choose from, that gives us 56 different choices for how you start and how you continue. You've got a tremendous amount of options here for how to hook people with your content. Somebody says, where to start? Of course, it can be overwhelming. Anywhere. Start anywhere. If you want me to tell you which one of these to start with, I will always start with escape and arrive. Start with escape and arrive. Start with get away from bad, move towards good. Ask me questions. What questions do you have on this? There are 8 really, really, really solid hook frameworks here. Start every bit of content with this. Here is I'll give you a secret. It's the what's in it for me hook. And that is when I record a video for YouTube. I will use the what's in it for me as the title of the video. Most of my videos are titled what's in it for me, with the what's in it for me. Because all of my videos on YouTube are teaching them how to do something. So they're getting, that's what they're getting from me. I will use that as the title, and I will say it as the very first thing I say in my video. Because I want YouTube's transcription to see the very first thing I say, which is generally the most important thing that you say. I want it to synchronize. So you use these in emails as your subject lines. These are incredible to use in your subject lines. And in your social media posts, if they're videos, it's the first thing you say. If you're writing in your social media posts, it's the first thing you write. If you would like to try your hand at a hook, pop a hook in to the chat on YouTube or here on Zoom, and we can all see how captivating it is. Like, Andrew, I love what you wrote. 81% of people say they want to write a book, but only 1% ever do. Which group do you want to be in? Secondary hook. Ask the question, intrigue. Which group do you want to be in? The dreamers or the doers? I dig it. I really do. I just don't want you leading in with so many words. I want you to start with that number. 99.8% of LinkedIn users are ignoring the most powerful way of getting clients on LinkedIn. Here's what to do right now. My best performing YouTube thumbnail, which I fear overusing this one. The hook is this. This is, ready? Some will make millions. Oh my gosh, I can't spell. That is my best performing YouTube hook. That has gotten me tens of thousands of views across a couple of different videos. Some will make millions. There's a little what's in it for me. There's a little intrigue. There's more arrive than escape. But I'm very careful with the language. I don't say you will make millions. I can't say that. One of my teachers was sued by the FTC for making statements like that. So I'm extremely careful that we don't make income claims or any kind of claims. In fact, sometimes you'll hear me say, don't listen to me about anything at all. I said that I was recording a podcast this week, and the topic of intermittent fasting came up. And I said, look, before I tell you anything about this, I don't know anything about nutrition. Don't listen to me about anything about nutrition. You got to kind of asterisk what you say. Some will be best sellers. Yes. Yes. Make a thumbnail with your smiling face and write, some will be best sellers. Yes. Some will have books flying off the shelves. Too many words, but same sentiment. Some will be best sellers. That's great. So that was 46 minutes on hooks. And I'm here to answer your questions on this cranky Friday afternoon. What's up, guys on YouTube? Thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for being here. If you are sitting here and you're like, what is going on here? Who is this guy? I mean, you know who I am because you can see my name right there. This is my Friday noon open Q&A. I invite my clients to come and hang out and ask me questions. They have 4 opportunities to do that during the week. Friday at noon tends to be the most chill day for us to do that. So we tend to have a little bit of fun. And you're here on YouTube getting to be a part of this. But if you'd like to be a bigger part of this, all you have to do is go to the link prouty.me and schedule a time to speak with me. I'm not gonna. You can ask anybody. I'm not gonna try to sell you. You either want it or you don't, and I don't care either way. If you want it, I can help you. If you don't want it, I can't help you. I just want to help. I want to help the people that want to be helped. So there's no like, oh, you got to sign up. I'll even let you in for free for a week to try it out because I want it to be right for you. I really do. I don't see any more questions coming in. There are 5 people still here on YouTube. So just give it one more second. You guys here, you clients that are here on the Zoom, just hang out with me, okay? Just for a minute. All right, guys. Just Zoom people, just hang on. Just give me 1 second while I say farewell. Oh, more people are showing up on the YouTube. Now what do I do? Now what do I do? I was just about to stop the YouTube stream. Now what do I do? You guys here on Zoom, farewell. Okay, that gave me the answer. All right. Hey, thanks for hanging out, you YouTube friends. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back next week at noon Eastern, 12 o'clock Eastern time. That's New York time, and we'll do this